welcome to my kitchen. I have got two fabulous recipes for you to really enjoy cooking in the summer. I've got a beautiful treacle tart and we've made it nice and summery. We've added lemons and ginger to it so it tastes amazing. And then I'm going to show you how to make this new dish I've created. It's a kebab with rump of lamb and we've got nectarines on there and we're going to serve it with some pita bread and the most delicious feta and pistachio dip. But first of all, let's get on with the treacle tart. Now, Emily's already asked me one question. There's no treacle in the treacle tart, and I'm not really sure why. All I do know is it is absolutely delicious. Now, I'm going to use these Masterclass Crusty Bake pie tins. They're perforated, they've got holes in, which means you never get a soggy bottom because the air gets through and it bakes up beautifully and crisp. Now, we're all busy people, so I'm not going to show you how to make a pastry case today. So all I've done is I've lined one in advance. Now, when you're making pastry, you use a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 parts flour, 1 part fat. Now, whether you use butter or margarine, that's entirely up to you. Rub them together to make like a crumble texture. Cold water. Bring it together to a dough, then put it in the fridge, let it rest. Then bring it out once it's rested, roll it, line your tin, put it back in the fridge, let it rest again. That is your secret to a good pastry case, is resting it in between each stage. So this one's been in the fridge and we will crack on. Now, my recipe that's on cookserveandenjoy.com is for 6 to 8 people. There's only 4 people in our house, so we've made a slightly smaller one, but luckily you can get all different sizes in the Crusty Bake range and they are brilliant. They bake beautifully, they come straight out, they are essential for any home baker. Right, so let's make the filling. Now, I have got breadcrumbs, loads of breadcrumbs. You could use brown or white, it really doesn't matter, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna flavour that with, I like to add a bit of ginger. Now, if you don't like ginger, don't add it, it'll still be okay without it, all right? Just going to blend this together so we get that nice ginger flavour running all the way through it. So, like a treacle tart?
Oh yeah.
You do?
You make a good one.
I do make a good one. Thank you, Emily. I think treacle tart, when I first learned how to make it, we did a mixture of breadcrumbs and Rice Krispies in it. And I know, a bit of a, maybe it's a Yorkshire thing, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it might
be. I really like using up bread, wholemeal, seeded, white, doesn't really matter. You know, if you have crusts left, just keep putting them in a bag in the freezer until you've got enough to make a treacle tart. So we're going to add lemon zest because I like the fragrance that lemon adds to this because it is quite a sweet dish.
With it being the base that it is for your treacle tart, can you add any flavours to it?
Yeah, I mean, you could add spices, you could add nutmeg, you could go orange, we're going lemon.
You can make it a wintry or a summery.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, you could add some walnuts into it if you wanted a bit of crunch. You can kind of play with it, really, which I think is nice. So, the zest is going to give us the fragrance, okay? So, right. So we've got our ginger, we've got our lemon, and we've got our breadcrumbs there. And you can see, really, really easy to do. Now, I've got my golden syrup here. So anyone, this is the one. All right, golden syrup. Reminds me of being a kid, this. I used to have this on toast. Oh, lovely. Love it. Just makes me. So warm it through. It doesn't need to be hot. In fact, it doesn't want to be hot. Just warm through so that it will just pour out like that, okay? Let's get all of it. I've actually done a lavender treacle tart before, which was quite nice. You just got to be careful how much lavender you put in, otherwise it tastes like potpourri. So, no, not really. In with our eggs, okay? So we've got 4 eggs for this.
Sure enough with your fancy egg skills.
I know, look at that. One-hander. And then we will incorporate the mix. Now, if you have any questions at all about what I'm making here, please do post them in the comments below. I know lots of you do, which is brilliant. And we love the fact that we're broadcasting on Facebook. We can chat to people. People can ask us questions. it's better than TV, because TV, you just watch it. Whereas with this, you can ask, you can engage with us. And I get all kinds of questions throughout the week of people watching the series. But can you see that now, you guys, yeah?
Let me look over.
Which one are we on? We're overhead?
Yeah.
Okay. So instantly, the liquid and the breadcrumbs all amalgamate together and we end up with this sort of, this single texture, which is great. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let that rest just for 1 minute and drink my coffee. And we will just get rid of the breadcrumbs. Now, the reason why we let it rest, the breadcrumbs are kind of drinking up the filling and they're just going and sucking it up. And you'll find it quite runny at the beginning, but then after a couple of minutes, the bread will have swollen up and it will have absorbed and it comes a bit thicker. So just give it that 1 minute and then take our pastry case. Now, because we're using crusty bake, we don't have to pre-bake this because I know that the bottom is still going to get nice and crispy. Okay? So in with our filling and fill it right to the top, okay? Don't be shy. Now, if you have any extra filling, you can just bake the filling without the pastry case, which is really useful. But we like a bit of pastry. So give it a little tap, like that, and it'll just drop. Gravity will fill any of the gaps, and then we're going to get this straight into the oven. Is this going to be your first treacle tart, Carlos?
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like loads of new things on first time.
I know. So, Carlos's first treacle tart today, so that's good. Right.
To the wild and wacky.
Yeah. The treacle tart with no treacle in it. It's got golden syrup. Don't know why. Somebody needs to tell me. Right, now, me and Emily tested this yesterday. It's so good. It is delicious. If you like lamb, you will love this. It will work. If you don't want lamb, it will work beautifully with halloumi. It works a treat. But first of all, we're going to get our lamb prepared. Are we? Or shall we do... We'll do the filling first, I think. I've got my little gadget here. I love this, okay? So instead of getting the great big food processor and plugging it in, I've got this lovely little gadget. It's from Chef'n, which is a brand that we work with on Cook, Serve and Enjoy. And basically, it's a little handheld food processor, okay? Some of you will have seen me use this before, but you just, like that. Oh, you see? So much easier. A bit of a workout as well, so good little item. Now, we're going to make our filling, okay? No, our dressing. And it relies on these flavours, and it's a kind of Persian-inspired flavour. So we've got pistachios first, okay? We're going to go in with those. And then I'm going to go in with a little piece of garlic and our feta. Put as much or as little garlic in as you like, but just remember it's going in raw, so it's going to be strong, okay? And then we've got some coriander, stalks and leaf, so we get big flavours in there. And then I've been out in the garden with Pip this morning, and I have got some fresh mint. This is Moroccan mint, so it's a bit stronger than your normal garden mint, but it is delicious.
If you don't have fresh, does it work with dried?
It does work with dried, but you do need that sense of fresh herbs, and dried mint's very strong, so you need to be very mindful of how much you put in. I would put some parsley and coriander in and a bit of dried mint. But if you've got the fresh mint, I mean, it grows in the garden so easily. Just put it out there and leave it. So, in with a lemon. I'm just going to take the pips out. And this will kind of, once we've added the olive oil, this will blend up, you see. And we need to cut through the richness of the feta cheese, because it goes quite creamy. Okay, so, hold on to me pips. There we go. And then extra virgin olive oil is going to help loosen this and turn it into like a dip. So you can use this just as a dip, or you can, or you can serve it with the lamb kebabs, which we're doing. Okay. Let's get the lid on and blend this up. Yeah. I'm just going to get it on. About there?
Yeah.
Happy with that? And then just pull. And just keep going. It's really good for sort of chopping red onions, chopping up vegetables if you haven't necessarily got the knife skills. But great for salsas. We've done loads of salsa recipes with this. But I just thought, do you know what? It's quieter. It's a little bit easier than getting the big food processor out, really. So the more you do it, the finer it becomes. So you can make great pestos out of this. Really, really good. And then if I take the lid off, you can see it's blending up really, really well. So I'm going to add a touch more olive oil because I just want it a little bit looser. Okay, looser, is that a word? More loose? Looser? Not sure.
I'll let you know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so. There we go.
There's your arm workout done for today.
That's it, yeah, done my arms. Right. So let's just pop that to one side, get rid of the blade, put those to wash, and then I have got our sauce there, done. Nice and easy. We like easy. Okay, I've got a couple of pita breads. I'm going to pop these on the grill. Now, I've given you a recipe for homemade. Make them if you like. They're really easy. Make your dough, roll them out, grill them or bake them, it's entirely up to you. I've got a couple of pita breads there to use up, so we're doing it with those. Now let's turn our attention to the lamb. Now I've got some rump of lamb here, which is kind of the top of the leg, okay? So it's a decent thick piece, and I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces, okay? And then I've got a couple of other little pieces there as well, so that is all diced up and ready to go. Right, let's pop my pita breads over there to toast. Now let's make the spices, the flavourings. This is really, really important to get this right because it really does elevate the flavour and everything. Is that all right there, Carlos?
Perfect.
Yeah? So I've got coriander seeds into a dry pan. I've got cumin seeds into a dry pan. Okay? And then we're just going to toast these. The minute you hear them crackle is when you want to take them off the heat, okay? Not until. I've also got some sesame seeds, which we're going to add as well. But can you see the heat coming off those? Can you see those, guys?
Well, you can just start seeing them like pop.
Yeah, can you see them start to go like that? I'm going to let it go just so that you get to see it. Yeah? I mean, you smell that now. Can you smell the difference?
Yeah.
When you dry fry or toast spices in their seed form, you get like 50% more flavour. The aroma is incredible. You've just got that kind of North African spiced kind of aroma. There's no heat in there. It's just vibrance, interesting flavour profiles. So I'm going to add a sprinkle of salt into there, which will work as our abrasive. I'm going to add some pepper in there. So what we end up with is this lovely kind of North African spice blend that we could then use for any kind of lamb or anything like that. And then just, I've got a really, these pestle and mortars are brill. Big, heavy ones, because you can just pound away. I'm not going to do it too much because it'll make the camera wobble and Carlos will get cross with me. So I'm just going to roll it around like that. And the salt will grind it down. I'm not putting any effort in here. I'm just rolling it around. And can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let me just grab some of this. I mean, now we're down to a spice blend. And now that we've got like a savouriness from the sesame, and then you've got the fragrance. If you have a smell of that now...
We've just got a hit of it then. Yeah.
It's got that wonderful kind of, it's a bit nutty and it's a bit fragrant and vibrant and interesting. And all those flavours are going to work incredibly well with the lamb. Okay, so tiny little bit of olive oil on there, not much because lamb's got its own natural fats. And then we're going to take our seasoning.
Oh, it smells wonderful.
It's good, isn't it? It's another really good blend just to sort of make a little bit more than you need, put it in a glass jar, put it on the shelf, and then on a work night and you need a quick dinner, take some minced lamb, a little bit of that, make some koftas, boof, you're done. All right, so let's just work those flavours, marinate the lamb up. It won't take long. That'll do.
Could you do this the night before marinating?
Yeah, totally. If you do it the night before, it'll have even more flavour in it. Right, just turn those over, wash my hands a little bit. Right, so let's do our nectarines. Now, we've got nectarines. If peaches look better in the shop, use peaches, all right? But you could use fresh apricots as well if you wanted to. But these are the perfect ripeness. They're not too soft and ripe, and they're not rock hard. They're just in that middle section. I would say just before they're perfect for eating. All right, so I'm just going to roll my knife around there like that, give them a twist, and then one half comes out cleanly, and then run your knife around the stone and cut them into quarters, like so, and then hopefully you should be able to just lift that stone out at the end. Okay, so we're going to use the nectarine in quarters, so there's enough time for the lamb to cook. If you do 2 smaller pieces of nectarine, they'll just cook to nothing and your lamb will be raw still, okay? So, there we go. I've got a little bit more. Last piece. Lovely. I've got some kebab sticks and I've got some rosemary, because rosemary just works so well with lamb. So good. Just a little rough chop. Rosemary and nectarines actually work really well as well, so it's a good thing to add all round. Okay, so a little bit of coffee. Everything works better with a little bit of coffee in your hand.
It does.
Right.
Is this something that could be done on the barbecue?
Yeah, definitely. You just need to be careful because on a barbecue you've got quite a fierce heat.
Yeah.
So you need to manage your heat well. So you need to know where your hot spots are and things like that and get a bit of experience on there. There's no good just whacking it on and hoping. You've got to know, well, actually I can sear it on the hot bit and then move it to the cooler part of the barbecue and let it finish. Okay, good barbecuing is about just being in control all the time. Right, so I'm going to take a piece of nectarine first, straight through there. Take a piece of lamb, pop that through there. Another piece of nectarine. So I've got more nectarine than I've got lamb here, because lamb's quite expensive, but it is delicious. So we kind of want to sort of put the emphasis on the nectarines, really, on this one. On it goes. And there we go. There's our first kebab. Can we see that one all right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so.
It's quite nice that you're using fruit, like nectarines and peaches, because you would normally put them in a sweet dish rather than a savory.
You would, but if you think about like Moroccan food and tagines, you get dried fruit in there, and that sort of sweetness with lamb works.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of experimenting and just sort of working out what the right thing would work.
Yeah.
And this is just something I sort of stumbled across and thought, yeah, I think that might work.
Yeah.
And obviously when we tested the recipe yesterday, it was like, this works. Believe me, this really works. It was great. So there we go. We've got our 2 kebabs there. They're decent sized ones there, actually. So we're going to put some rosemary on there. Just roll that around. There we go. Right, let's have a little wipe down. Okay, so I've got a non-stick grill pan getting hot here. If you wanted to just grill these in a normal oven, absolutely no problem at all. You could pan fry them, you can barbecue them. We're going to grill them here on the grill pan so you can see them cooking. And we're just going to get them on a hot grill. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on there because I want the nectarines to have some oil on as well. And then I'm just going to kind of mop up all the little bits of flavour. Don't want to miss any of those out. And then into the grill. Okay. So nectarines cut side down first. Okay. I've grilled the lamb. It's just sat there. I haven't touched it. I've just given it the time to caramelize. It's really important when you're grilling things that you just leave it to caramelize and naturally release itself from the non-stick pan. So all we need to do now is carefully lift, turn, and over it goes to finish on that side as well. So we'll do the same with this one. Look at that. Lovely. So you can see they're just the contact on the grill, because we put that little bit of oil on there, it's just naturally caramelizing. And because it's a non-stick grill pan, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It doesn't stick. They're great pieces of kit. Okay, so while they're just finishing, we've got our beautiful pistachio, feta, coriander, mint, lemon dip. Now, if you wanted a bit of spice in this, add a chili or add some chili oil. Absolutely entirely up to you. But you've got this nice base, creamy, salty, sour, rich dip that's going to work incredibly well with the lamb. So all I like to do is just spread a little bit on there, and then we'll serve the rest with it. There we go. And then I've got some fresh mint left over, which I've just hung on to. Just gives it that little bit of fragrance. I'm going to drizzle a lemon over the top. And there we go. If I take the lamb and just sit it like that. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. I'm loving this. This is going to be definitely August 2021's favourite dish. Can we see this all right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah? So I'm going to sprinkle a few sesames over this. So these are toasted sesames. And then finish with some lemon right at the very last minute. It works a treat, I promise you. So there is my nectarine and lamb kebabs with feta, herb dip and flatbreads. I'm going to get the treacle tart and we're good to go. Oh, look at this. So we've got our treacle tart as well, and that is flavoured with lemon and ginger. So lovely and fresh and vibrant. The perfect counterbalance to my delicious lamb with nectarines. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you give this recipe a try. And if you do, let me know how you get on, because I think it's absolutely delicious. You can get the recipes on cookserveandenjoy.com, along with links to all the equipment that I use in my kitchen. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.